Everyone loves a long shot, don't they?
Tries again. Oh, that's phenomenal! To go for the long shot. Oh, what a goal! What a brilliant goal! From Newcastle recently, and Martins! On he goes! Oh! Pushed out by Harris, and comes Wanyama!
No, not those type of long shots. I mean the ones where a player or team are major underdogs by the bookies, making them offer out ridiculous odds. This is because the chances of these players or teams succeeding in an event are pretty much slim to none. For example, Greece went into the Euro 2004 as 150 to 1 outsiders before they unbelievably made it all the way and triumphed over Portugal in the final. Looking at long shots on a more current viewpoint, the team least likely to win the Premier League in 2026 by most bookmakers is Sunderland, with Betfred having them as high as 2,000 to 1 to lift the coveted trophy in May. But let's be real, Sunderland at 2,000 to 1 seems a bit outlandish now after seeing their summer spending. I'd have sort of expected them to drop at least to 1,000 to 1 by now. That's besides the point anyways. The point I'm trying to make is that long shots of these calibers just literally never happen, except on very, very select occasions. We all know Sunderland won't win the league, so don't bet on that firstly. But secondly, even 2,000 to 1 seems small compared to the odds of Leicester City in 2015 ahead of the 15-16 campaign. Some bookies slung out odds of as high as 5,000 to 1 for the Foxes to win the Prem in 2016, and we all know how that went down. Incredibly, the odds of Leicester winning the league before the season kicked off were higher than those of Elvis Presley being discovered alive at 2,000 to 1, and Simon Cowell becoming the Prime Minister at 500 to 1. At that time, Paddy Power also thought it was statistically more likely that the Loch Ness Monster would be discovered, offering odds of 500 to 1, while Ladbrokes had 1,000 to 1 on Sir Alex Ferguson winning Strictly Come Dancing. Can we actually deep that? Like, Elvis Presley, who at the time had been dead for nearly 40 years, was apparently more likely to be found alive than Leicester winning the league. Like, what? Today we're running through their iconic campaign where they went from completing the Great Escape to then unbelievably winning the league just 12 months later. This is Deep Dive. Flashback to 2014, and after Leicester's recent championship title win, the Foxes were shaping up for their first top flight season in over a decade under Nigel Pearson. And 5 games in, things were looking good. They were sat in 7th with 8 points with just 1 loss to start the season. Yeah, that wasn't how it stayed for very long. They literally gained 2 points the next 13 and were rock bottom by Boxing Day, 6 points adrift. Before Leicester, only 2 teams had stayed up after being bottom at Christmas, that being West Brom in 04-05 and Sunderland the season prior. Fun fact, Nigel Pearson was West Brom's assistant manager when they completed their Great Escape, so he had done this all before. With 9 games left, they had just 19 points. Like, how did they survive? I don't know how they did it, but they picked up 22 points from a possible 27 to comfortably survive, finishing 14th despite being marooned at the bottom of the table from late November to mid-April. So they were safe. Just. It took them way too long to click into gear, but at least they were going to be there next season. I just can't believe how easy they made it look. I think at Christmas there was more chance of me morphing into a swan than Leicester staying up, and they ended up surviving by 6 points. Anyways, after seeing that ridiculous escape the season prior, everyone expected a similar performance from Leicester, and most of the bookies thought the same. Before this 1 in a million Leicester season, bookies' odds were much higher because something of this rarity had literally never happened before on this scale in football. I think Greece came close when they won Euro 2004, but that was only 150 to 1 as mentioned before. This is kind of why their odds were so high at 5,000 to 1, and there was, as there always is, a couple punters who decided why not, and stuck a couple quid on them to win the league. Also, to prove how high the odds used to be, Spurs, who according to most people finished 3rd in a 2-horse race that season, were 100 to 1 to win the league. Leicester literally changed the bookies forever. Ranieri had been brought in on a 3-year contract, which some people called baffling when considering the Italians' frequent dismissals just prior, but the stage was ultimately set for a new Premier League season. This Premier League season had a lot of highlights. The ball was beautiful firstly and is one of my favourites from more recent years. This was the last season in which Liverpool had red nets, with Jurgen Klopp requesting for them to be switched back to white to help players' vision. Champions Chelsea was simply awful and finished 10th, their lowest finish since 1996. Aston Villa had one of the Prem's worst ever seasons and finished rock bottom on just 17 points. 3 wins out of 38 meant that Villa had missed out on safety by the small gap of 22 points. Just eat that, Villa could have won 7 more games that season and still not have survived. And that still wasn't the most memorable part of that season, not even close. Leicester's Fairytale seasons remains as the biggest and most iconic event in Premier League history, closely followed by not a lot. Let's start from the beginning. Matchday 1, the 8th of August 2015. Hello everyone, welcome to the new Premier League season. It's been a long time coming and survival is the main aim for both Leicester and Sunderland, who meet today at the King Power Stadium. 25 minutes into the new season and the Foxes are 3-0 up. Perhaps a sign of things to come? 4-2 win, 3 points on the board, starting the new season. Not a bad start for the relegation favourites. 2-1 win at West Ham, followed by a 1-1 draw at home against Spurs, then a late Vardy penalty at Bournemouth kept Leicester unbeaten, amassing 8 points in 4 games. That Vardy penalty wouldn't be that noteworthy and important, and it really isn't. On its own, that is. It would have been completely irrelevant if he didn't score in the next game, and then the next game, and then the next. You get the picture. Vardy and Mahrez's breakout season skyrocketed the Foxes up the table, all the way to the summit in mid-November, right before they were scheduled to face Man United at the King Power. By this point, Vardy had netted in 10 straight games, equalling Ruud van Nistelrooy's record set way back in 2003, and set to face the side that Van Nistelrooy set the record for. It was almost written in the stars, wasn't it?
Left back, Fuchs. And the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy! Hold the back page! Hold the front page! A Leicester player has smashed the record!
Martin Tyler hit the nail on the head. A Leicester player had smashed the record that had stood for over a decade, and I don't think anybody could believe what they were seeing. Leicester City were in a title race. Okay, yeah, they dropped points against United, drawing 1-1, but then they sunk Swansea before Mahrez decided to chop, twist, chop again, and curl a beauty past a below-par Chelsea to send them back to the top of the league. By Christmas, Leicester was at the peak of their powers, flying high at the top, 2 points ahead of Arsenal, who were close behind in second. Arsenal in second, yeah, that sounds familiar. Leicester had only lost once by Christmas, a surreal turnaround to the previous Christmas when they were rooted to the foot of the table. To show how mind-boggling this season already was, it was discovered that the odds of Leicester to be top by Christmas were a staggering 1,000 to 1, and of course some people took the chance and made big money from it. A little blip in form going winless in the next 3 saw the Gunners overtake them by 2 points, and with the trip to White Hart Lane to follow, a serious performance was needed to stay in touch with the top. A huge 1-0 away win saw Leicester regain their best ever form until they hosted Liverpool, who had just been to Carrow Road and defeated Norwich in a 9-goal thriller that became an instant classic. Leicester lost 1-0 at Anfield earlier in the season, and they didn't want to have the same result at the King Power, so step up Jamie Vardy from 30 yards.
Jamie Vardy away, and he's there! Oh, what a goal!
Liverpool down, Man City next. Step up Riyad Mahrez.
Who's got care of Otamendi? Riyad Mahrez!
Man City down. Leicester literally could not be stopped, unless they played Arsenal, in which they lost both times to the Gunners. Their 2-1 loss to Arsenal on matchday 26 was their last loss of the season, with 12 games still left to play. 30 games in, the Foxes are 5 clear of Spurs, with no signs of slowing down. Defensive masterclass after masterclass saw Leicester achieve 8 clean sheets in the 10 matches that followed their loss to Arsenal, leaving them 7 clear of Spurs of free to play, with the impossible very close to becoming reality. A draw at Old Trafford left Leicester 8 clear, with Spurs still yet to play Chelsea the next day. The Battle of the Bridge, oh boy was this a great game to watch. One of my favourite Premier League games of all time, and it's oh so sweet of being a Chelsea fan and knowing what we did. Spurs came flying out of the blocks and established a 2-0 lead, and to be completely honest, it was looking like another dismal outing in that horror season for Chelsea. But this is Spurs we're talking about, and if there's any team that Spurs absolutely hate playing against, it's Chelsea. Cahill volleyed one back in the second half, and Chelsea really began building some momentum. Spurs' response to this was to play dirty, and by dirty, I mean bin lorry dirty. Mark Clattenburg must have given out nearly as many yellow cards in that game than Mike Tyson threw punches against Jake Paul. Wait, it's actually closer than I thought. God, that was such an awful fight. The game and season-defining moment came in minute 83 when Hazard picked the ball up on the halfway line and drove into the Spurs half, laying the ball off to Diego Costa, who rolled Alderweireld and laid it back to Hazard just inside the 18-yard box.
Turns Alderweireld. Hazard! He has done it! He won the title for Chelsea a year ago. He might just have won the title for Leicester City tonight.
Simply unbelievable. From the Great Escape to the greatest ever underdog story in Premier League history. I don't know what they did, and I don't know how they did it, but they went from 41 points to 81, 11 wins to 23, and 19 losses to just 3. Everyone was just as shocked at what they'd witnessed. Outsiders, and when we talk outsiders, we mean just another team to make up the league, to the best in England. Things went back to normal the season after that. Chelsea won their most recent league title, while Leicester went back to mid-table. However, they did reach the Champions League quarter-finals that season, where they only just lost to Atletico Madrid, so that's something. Since their title win, Leicester have added an FA Cup to their trophy collection, beating Chelsea 1-0 in 2021, and they also reached the inaugural Conference League semi-final in 2022. But unfortunately, after being a top-half team for many years, they've since been relegated twice, and things look to be just like it was over a decade ago. They might be a championship side now, but I'm absolutely certain that nobody will ever forget 2016, when Leicester City, at 5,000 to 1, won the league in one of football's greatest ever underdog stories.